ghost neighborhood.
Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, rated R. Starts Friday, May 13th at a theater near you.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
You will suffer an eternity for this.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another 0-Point Reviews with Jeff and Kevin. We don't have a guest this week because everybody was scared to do this one with us. Why? I have no idea why. This isn't part 5. This actually is a Jason movie, everybody. So, but before we get started, please hit the like button on the way in. Share, subscribe this out. Hey, also know this is a live chat, and we'd like to include those. So if you want to chime in with any memories, thoughts, anything, throw them in the chat. Let's go. Kevin, what we like to do around here is talk about our first experience with Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. What is your first experience with it?
You know, I was probably a preteen or a teenager, like 13.
A tweenager.
A tweenager, probably, and renting it from Bob's Video, which was way cooler than going to Blockbuster.
Bob's Video.
Yeah, like they were our local indie store, and they were just dope as fuck. Like I would say that's where I found Mystery Science Theater at. Anyway, so yeah, I remember getting it from there, and I remember liking it a lot. Not as much as Part 6, but I remember liking it a lot, and I remember having a crush on Lar, very much. Like,
oh yeah.
She's cute and she's cool. But yeah, golly, I was young.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, for me, I want to say, I think it was about college time when I was getting into horror with like Halloween, went through all the franchise then, and then Friday the 13th. Like if this was on like USA Channel or one of the syndicated channels like TBS or whatever, I think I would catch part of it then, but at the same time, I think I only watched like bits and pieces. But I always remembered, oh, I know, because I was really big into House and House Part 2. I at least recognized, oh, that's the girl from House Part 2. And I always enjoyed that one just as much, if not even more at the time. But my first experience is probably VHS tape, probably from, God, what was it? Family Video? Yeah, in Wisconsin, it was Family Video or Hollywood Video.
Nice.
Got to remember that. But that's where I finally saw it for the first time on VHS tape, because that was right around the time that DVDs were only just starting. And they had not come out with the Friday the 13th DVDs quite yet.
Interesting. Now, when you saw it, how did you compare it to the others?
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was like the best, but I liked it more than I liked Part 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I remember even as a kid not really liking Part 5. I didn't have the hate for it that I had for Halloween 3, but I remember not liking it nearly as much, even though it was about Tommy. Like I was like, I didn't have the shining for it like I did for 6 and 7. It was 8 that I didn't see until I was in my 20s.
That one I saw basically. Yeah, I kind of did it when I burned through the franchise at that point in my college years. So that was like 90, I want to say 97, 98 when I was catching up on everything. So I caught all the way up to that point. And then I remember seeing like H2O in the theaters, and I'm like, ugh.
That was such a horrible experience. I went
everything
to
had been screamified at that point. So
yes, but the ending is just horrible where she cuts his head off. I was in a very rowdy theater, and like everyone was screaming, including me, except for I was screaming, no! Everyone was screaming, yeah!
Well, from what I remember with that movie really quick, because on 0-Point Reviews, we do go off on tangents here. What I remember is in a sequel / follow-up. The original idea was that she chopped off the head of not Michael Myers, but of an EMT that he put in the outfit and the mask and had ripped out like his throat or tongue or something, and he couldn't talk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's kind of a cop-out because Michael would never change his outfit.
No.
It's like Jason. You think Jason's just gonna hop into a cop uniform and take off in a cop car and run away like a scared little bitch? No, he'd keep coming.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like Resurrection. I was like, what? No, that's not how that happened.
Yeah, they tried to. Yeah.
I felt like Annie Wilkes. Like, you're a dirty bird. That's not how that happened. I was here last week. I saw that shit.
Well, they killed Jamie in like the first like 7 minutes of like Resurrection. It's like,
yeah,
okay.
That's where my mind checked out.
I know it was Rick Rosenthal back, but I was like, man, I don't know about this. But I still ended up liking Resurrection more than I liked Halloween H2O.
I don't want to, because I don't have anything nice to say about H20 in general.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Now, for you, how do you rank this by comparison?
Mid, very mid. I'd say this is probably the bottom of the top tier for me. The bottom of my
weakest of the core movies that are good.
Yeah, I'd say so. Because the story in itself is off the charts. Like, this is like, what do we do and what do we do now? So they went through phases. They had him fight a superhero, they had him go to hell, and then they had him go to space, and then they had him fight Freddy. Like, that's the last that they could do with Jason, aside from
New Line era.
Yeah, aside from reboot him to make him relevant. Like, they don't know what to do with Jason, and it's a very simple formula. It truly is.
Yeah.
But I don't dislike this one. This one's not as bad as 5. This is much better than 5 as far as like kills go and stuff like that. And it is Jason. The makeup is really cool.
Yeah, the prosthetics are amazing.
Yeah, like his hands look a little bit like Big Ben from House.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. But you forgive it, like it's Kane in there, and you could tell that's Kane moving around.
And I think it's his best work as Jason in this movie.
I think so. Like, the costuming was better than 6. I'll give it that.
Oh yeah, like the overall look of Jason is just like, this is dope, dude.
Yeah, it didn't need the yellow gloves, and I mean, whatever. Those were fine. They were a choice. But
yeah, choices were made.
The rest of the movie was good. Fuck the gloves.
Morning,
hey, Mike. Thank you for joining us, brother. Thank you. But yeah, this one, I think this is probably one of the more iconic looks for Jason. I'd say between this and part 8, more so this. I like this. He's got every wound in the history of Jason marked up on this face. Like, when they take the mask off, there's like a clean piece of skin here, and the rest of it's got the cut from the hatchet, the burns from the acid and the fire, all sorts of other bludgeonings and shit.
Well, in part 4 with the cut right through half the forehead.
Yes, that's in there too. We go sliding down.
I never noticed that until this last time I rewatched it. I'm like, I don't remember that. Because when I do rewatches, yes, I rewatch it, but I tend to do other things because the movie tends to meager along at times. So it has some moments of, that's kind of boring. Can we get to killing, please? But seeing it this time, I'm like, wow, that's actually a really good cut too.
Yeah. Like I really, the runtime was a hair long, but otherwise,
like 30 minutes.
Let me see here. 128.
Wow.
So it wasn't even an hour and a half long, and it got me a little bored towards the end. But I guess we'll save that part for later. But it works fairly decently. There is a decent body count in here. No one's truly likable enough to wish, oh man, I wish they would have lived. No, you enjoy watching each and every single person die, and
Oh my God, right?
they all deserve it. Like, this is a lot of the fun kills that happen between like 4, 6, and 7, I think.
I would agree with that relatively.
Yeah.
There's
3's
good kills
pretty great.
in all of them, but like the good consistent kills, this is the sweet spot.
Yeah, like these are the ones that are gonna scare the kids. They're gonna be talked about when people do chats like this regarding Freddy, or I'm sorry, Jason.
Oh yeah.
But like a lot of it, this is the average. This is the medium average, and I say that with respect, because this is everything that's good about Jason they put in this movie. Now, everything else in the movie is fucking wonkers to the point of bad. So, like, it's kind of hard to say this is one of the good ones. It is, but it's at the bottom of the level for me. I'd say, like, in the era of Jason with the mask, I'd say 6, 4, 3, and then this.
Yeah.
Would probably be my order, and then 8.
I like part 2. God,
2
when we finish up like our on the next Friday the 13th, what I would have us probably do is do the last 3 movies that we haven't covered so far, which is part 5, Goes to Hell, and the 2009 remake. And then if it's a month of 4 weeks, and most of them are, I vote on the 4th one. We do a big movie ranking episode.
I dig that.
And we can bring a few guests on. So if former guests would like to return for a ranking episode, we will do that on the next Friday the 13th month. And maybe we'll get Vinny back too.
I was just going to say,
successfully crowdfunded Ghost in the Fog. So shout out to Vinny.
Yeah, like he skyrocketed on the last weekend. Everyone was like, "Take my money!" Yeah,
yeah. For a while, cool. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna make the fit. Oh, and next thing I know, he blew past 50, no problem.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to see. Like,
I'm getting like 2 things. I'm getting the Blu-ray, and then I'm getting the box to hold all of the Blu-rays. So
nice, very
that's
nice.
what I went in on.
Excellent. I do want to point out that those movies are better than this movie.
Yeah. If anything, the clever ideas for kills in this are what stand out the most for me.
Yeah.
Because like you have the picture of like one of my favorite little gadgets that Jason ever deals with. My only comment is trying to put some sort of like serious thinking to this movie. And that's probably my fatal flaw. When things come up, like, how does he's the living dead. How does he have the forethought? I need to make sure this is oiled up, has gas in it, and I got to fire it up like a chainsaw. Vroom, vroom. With 3 pulls, and he gets it working and throttles it properly. It's like, maybe I need to stop thinking. Maybe this is one of those kind of movies for Friday the 13th where, hey, just get a pizza, have a few beers, couple drinks, have something edible, and just zone out to it and just have a good party time. Because when I'm trying to look at this, like say part 4, which is one of my absolute favorites, and part 6, by comparison, this has a little bit of the humor, gets a little too campy, but it is a good fun time you can hang out with.
It's not as bad as "He's killing me."
Oh my God, do I still have that clip? I gotta check her.
That was absolutely awful. It's fun.
I still had it.
Sweet. That's awesome. But yeah, this one's a lot of fun. He gets, like you said, a lot of the extra gadgets. You've got the sleeping bag kill in this one, which is phenomenal. He kills a bunch of people peeing, I think. At least 2 people that are pissing. kind of shitty, but
Hey, if you're gonna go, I don't know.
I don't
Gonna
know
go
why.
that way.
Like, did that guy really need to go walk 30 feet off the trail
Oh
to
my
take
God, I know.
to
It's
take a
like if
leak?
that's
Like
like your girlfriend / wife, dude, 10 feet is all you really need.
5, 6, just turn around.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into the scary woods where something's gonna bite my ass, give me fucking poison oak, whatever.
Or hear me out. Maybe he's on the outs with her and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go 50 feet this way. So if something bad happens and I hear that you're getting killed, gives me a chance to get away.
That is fair. That is fair.
I don't know. It's logic issues or smart move. You tell me, chat. Smart move or a bad move?
I mean, there's always got to be those couples, and there was a couple couples that were stranded or hiking or camping, and they were fun to come up on happenstance. They served no point in the story except for like the brother whose party that they were having. But otherwise, like they were there to fill up body count and take time away from having an actual story and plot line to this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked wonderfully. It worked wonderfully. It's like I sent you in that text message last night. This movie is awful, but it does not cease to entertain me at all.
It has the two awes, awful and awesome, in it at the same time.
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. And when I say I wasn't bored until the end, like it was done by the time I got bored. So I'm like, okay.
It's like, no, I think you ended at about the appropriate time. It could have been done a couple minutes earlier, but the kills are pretty damn sweet. Gotta admit.
Except for her mom and the doctor. That could have been a
The
little...
mom was kind of lame, and the doctor, they cut away. They actually had filmed that. This was originally going to be X-rated because of all the gore. So they had to cut out a lot of gore. So it took the teeth out of some of the death scenes. And I think this is the movie. I think they found like the VHS tape from the director Buechler, John Carl Buechler, and they found like a VHS tape of some of his extended death scenes, and I think they put it on the disc.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, slashed scenes. Now it is terrible VHS quality, but you still get an idea. I think you actually can still see these though on YouTube. So I think they've been moved over and people have incorporated them in some fan cuts. Or
that's cool.
If you just want to see the scenes, absolutely. If I can find them, I'll link them in the description below after we're done. But you can find a way to take a look at some of those extended death scenes. And some of them are pretty cool. Some of them are a little, that wasn't really necessary. That was kind of cheesy anyway.
You know which one I really liked? I don't remember the guy's name. But where they were boning out in the van, the couple.
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh, Mike's here. Let's go surprise him."
Yep.
And they pop out of the van. Well, the guy gets his head grabbed and starts slowly crushing his head and busting his brain. And I was like, that's why Kane Hodder said no. Jason should do a slow break of the neck instead of a quick one.
Yep.
Because he knows you can't teach that, kids.
Who's the short blonde-haired girl? That was the annoying bitch.
Oh,
I'm terrible with names in this movie because there's so many and they're not all that memorable.
Melissa?
Yeah. Susan Jennifer Sullivan.
Yeah.
Her death scene was one of my favorites. She opens the front door, gets hit with the axe, and gets chucked over the TV.
Yeah. And that
because bitch had it coming.
She did, and she was the last to go, which was nice, but Lordy, was she fucking pain in the ass to watch her to like get through those first 78 minutes. It was only 78 minutes, but she's a pain. She was a rough one. She was a good bad guy. She really was.
She's the one you were rooting for her to die the whole movie, and then you finally got it, and it's like, all right, and he's got a point with me.
And it was rough. It was truly Kane getting that strong arm up in the air with the axe, and they're just bringing it down. and then
Yeah, you get the shot of her like looking up at the X and oh shit, and then boom.
Yeah, that was like the last thing she saw. And it was a beautiful kill, beautiful rage work, body work done by Kane Hodder. I truly enjoyed it. The only thing I'd say is it could have lasted a bit longer, like thrown her through something, one-armed her through the table, and then thrown her through across the room. I don't know. But it was brutal.
Yeah.
It was fun.
If it was a more modern film, I could see the lopping off of an arm, grabbing her by the head, snapping the neck, and then throwing her.
Yeah.
That could have been something very brutal.
Yeah. But Lordy, like you said, she had it coming. I wasn't sorry to see her go. Nobody was sorry to see her go. And you weren't supposed to be sorry to see her go.
And beautiful actress, very good actress. She did a great job playing the snotty bitch. So.
Yes. And like you felt for the stoner guy that just wanted to get laid with her. or not the stoner guy, the nerdy guy who like, you're going to have some PTSD after trying to have sex with someone like that. And she's just completely disinterested in everything you're doing. Like you're throwing out all your pro moves, all the moistening fucking moves. And she's just like dry as a bone.
She's like, yeah, this isn't working for me.
You're seeding all the clouds and the desert is dry, dude. Like nothing is happening.
Cardinal mistake number 1. Don't do that.
Oh shit. Because he didn't listen to Sam Kinison and try to lick the alphabet.
This is true. Taste the rainbow.
Shit like that should make our numbers jump up. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, come on. Like us out there. Share it out there. Let's go. Put a comment in there. What do people like about this movie? I want to hear about it. Let's go.
Like, okay, how do you guys feel? Because I'm not putting this in the bad. I don't believe it's bad, but I want to know, how do people feel about fighting a superhero? Because this is the first jumping the shark. It might be considered the first jumping the shark movie. 6 might be considered.
Tina, Lara Park?
Yeah. Like having fought a superhero or a telekinetic, like, I don't know, like a match made in hell. I don't think it was really quite that. Like he had some frustrations going. There was some really good scenes where she was kicking his ass, but at the end of it, like she brings her dad back from the watery grave.
Somehow to a point.
Davy Jones's lake locker in the shallow water. I don't know. Like it wasn't bad, but it most certainly was not good. I don't know. It wasn't fantastic.
Yeah, for me, like I didn't hate the idea, but the execution on it was a bit weird. Because you're using a psychiatrist doctor who's trying to use her for his own purposes to try and rile her up just so he can make a buck and gain notoriety. And it ultimately activates her to be able to fight Jason. So it's almost like you're trying to create take a Stephen King character and then transport it into Friday the 13th and watch chaos ensue. It's like, you know what? If you're trying to do that, maybe this is with their first attempt at, so how do we maybe work Freddy into this thing? Because it's almost like, let's test out some ideas here and see if people will go for it.
Yeah. And you definitely get that feeling. Like something, he's going to kill everything else, but then something's going to be big to take him on. And in this case, it was this tiny little blonde girl who was great. She's a phenomenal actor. I loved Laura. I always will.
I know some people felt her character was a bit dull in this. I didn't really feel that way, but I can see how people can view it that way. I don't think they gave her enough for her character to develop. And this is more on the bad side. I would go more towards the writing of this more than the acting.
True. But at the same time, and again, this is just me watching Clayface from Harley Quinn. Sometimes you have to make your own backstory.
Yep.
Like you have to figure out why your character got to where they are, and what has this been like for me to live with for the last 6 years or however long since she killed her dad.
All right.
And I love just how she tells that guy, I killed my father.
Yep.
All right then.
Pretty boy Nick. He looked like he was something out of like Days of Our Lives.
Didn't he? Didn't he? Like for being a teenager? he was like straight out of Days or a Calvin Klein magazine.
General Hospital.
Yeah. And he did okay. But
I
just like how he's like, I'm not any of these people's friends. I'm the guy's cousin.
Yep. I got invited anyway.
Yeah. So it's like, shouldn't you just be like all over their shit? Like just preying on their stupid asses then?
Like, he was busy washing his car, dude.
Oh, yes, that's right. It was the 80s.
Yep.
When you wore cutoffs, shorts, and shirts. And
that was like, ugh.
Yeah. And
it works
that
in
was
the
just
early
the
80s
men.
and mid 80s, but not at this point.
No, men should not wear cutoffs anymore. Tops or bottoms. We just shouldn't.
Unless you're a $2 hooker.
That's true. Or pretending to be a $2 hooker.
Yep. No king shaming. No king shaming.
No, because sometimes you go out to a party and you want to look nice and you want to fucking wear. Anyway, that's a 0 point.
Well, we have a legitimate question here from Mike. What was this style at this time? Not this.
Really? No, I guess it wouldn't be, but
it was more denim jackets and looking like New Kids on the Block. So Zubaz and things like that.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Jordache, Esprit.
Yep.
Those were big names back then. Levi was still a thing.
Yep.
Levi actually made good jackets. Not
Wranglers.
that yeah. Not
Converse,
that we Converse make jeans?
No, they made shoes.
No, that's true. That's true. I got some for my wedding. Uncomfortable. But it looked fucking cool.
That's very true.
And it is better to look good than to feel good. And I looked fucking awesome. As is the time.
Well, the fluffy hairstyles were still kind of in vogue at this point too.
What was the one character that felt she was too hobbitish, so she took off her glasses, put on a bunch of rouge, hoarded herself up, and then went out looking for Dick and got Jason instead?
Was that Maddie? Little.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She was pretty goddamn awesome. I liked her. I always did. And
yeah, she had some other things that I had seen her in.
Mm-hmm. And she's one of the people that Joe Bob points out when he's in the special features to Jason X, where he's talking about all the different things that you could do that will warrant Jason killing you. And he talks about putting on too much makeup. And going back and watching that, you're like, oh, that's you sitting on the side of the road eating a banana. Oh, that was you. Highly recommend that special feature. Yeah.
No, what did you think about great, I just lost my thought. I looked at Mike's comment. I was never into trends, and now I'm like, shit, what was I gonna say? Now, did you I guess I'm trying to ask, like, what did you think of the story overall? Did it work for you? Was it okay enough? Okay.
It worked. There was really nothing wrong. Like they made him coming back make sense. Like even in the loosest way, it made sense. Like she used telekinesis to pull him up from where Tommy had him anchored down.
Yep.
Okay. She busted the chain. That makes sense. Like, that's as simple as it needs to be. He's an undying force. She didn't need to necessarily give him life. She just freed him and gave him the ability to wake up and start breathing again.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in almost every movie, whether they explain it that way or not. Like in Freddy vs. Jason, they actually show it where his organs start like moving again when he wakes up and regenerating. You're like, oh, damn, that's cool. Like, he just kind of hibernates. So, I mean, it worked for me in that regard as far as stringing from 6 to 7. The idea of the telekinetic, that worked. It worked okay. The abusive dad and having the guilt and needing the psychiatrist,
Yeah.
that was really loose for me. The mom looked just like Julia from Hellraiser, but blonde. So I was a little annoyed with her. Like, is she gonna be a bad guy? Like, I just assumed she was
That's
a
what
bad
I
guy
thought the
because
first
she
time I
had
ever
a
saw the movie. I'm like, she's gonna be this crazy psycho mom who's trying to get rid of her so she can get like the money from the will or whatever.
yeah, but no,
Because
she
now
just
she's officially 18, and so she can get the money now.
it would have been a better movie.
That actually would have made it pretty interesting. One of,
like,
I mean,
yeah,
in my head, I thought of like a million ways to make this movie better. And it's like I should not, but it's part of the fun of like, yeah, I might have done this differently. I might have done that differently.
and the fact that studios can't figure out a recipe for a really good Friday the 13th movie.
It's a simple concept. God, idiots
Lake
go to
campers. I was
Yep.
gonna say lake campers, story, killer.
Drug, sex, kill. Drug, sex, kill. Rinse, repeat. One person survives at the end, and
Maybe.
Jason still is left undetermined on if he lives or dies. Find a way to try and kill him and stop him.
I just say let him live. Always show the mask and have it get picked up.
Yep, damn straight.
By whom? We don't know. Well, no, I mean, sometimes him dying is pretty good. Like, he needed to
Yeah.
die in order for, like, 4 needed to happen in order for 6 to like shine. The
And then
Frankenstein
6 had to happen
revolution.
for this to even work. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not unhappy with his death by Tommy's hands in the 4th movie. It made for a great resurrection, albeit goofy. It worked in Frankenstein, so why wouldn't it work here? And again, we're dealing in this weird, goofy universe where a guy can return from the dead again and again and again. So a telekinetic is not really far-fetched. Like,
no.
Carrie was popular at the time, and like you said, there's homages to Carrie and Firestarter both in this movie, very much so.
Pretty much.
Like, it screams, we wanted a Drew Barrymore, but she's too expensive.
Yeah, it could have been interesting too.
She's too expensive. Sorry, yes, I know. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. I think I got one more question for you though, Kevin.
All right.
What is your favorite moment of this movie? It could be anything. If there was one thing in this movie that you were like, that, I love that.
Probably where he throws the gal out the second story window. Like, that's
Elizabeth
just,
Baton's character. Oh,
yeah.
my girl.
Yeah,
She got thrown like a freaking frisbee out the window.
it was pretty great. It was pretty great. Like, I'm a sucker for the window tosses, like, because I'm a riffer by nature. I can't help myself. Like, even before I understood what MST was or watched it, like, that just was a natural thing for me. But whenever I see these window tosses, all I hear in my head is "fuck you," "fuck you." And, they're great. They're wonderful. That and the sleeping bag kills are always the best.
Yeah.
So those would be my 2 in a tie.
Mine would be the house exploding, which was freaking awesome. And if I remember right from the special features, because I didn't watch them this time, but I remember watching them before, that they mentioned like they didn't exactly intend for the house to get blown up to that extent, and they lost a few cameras in the process of trying to shoot it, so they could not redo it if it didn't work. And then they ended up finding out, oh shit, I think we blew up the house a little bit more than we intended to do. And I think like Real Police, Real Firefighters came out, and I think, now I'm probably wrong about this, but I want to say there was some mention that they included some of them in the background while they were actually taking care of the fire during the last little couple minutes of the movie. So the house being exploded, freaking killer. Absolutely dug that. And I got to admit, the overall mask reveal of Jason will always stick out in my mind as, oh, damn, that's gnarly. That's really good. And it's a strange look, but it works. And I thought it worked really well. So props to the practical effects and prosthetics department, the creature designs. Yo, excellent job, because you take you got this picture up, the mask, everything looks great. Take that mask off, looks even nastier. And it's like, there's an Evil Deadite right there.
Look up at the logo up there, you guys. Like I know it's only
that's rad, Mike. Totally gnarly, dude.
His eye is fucking jaundiced.
Yep.
One's gone, of course, but the other is jaundiced. And you're just like, wow, that's so cool. That is so cool. Like, and the mouth moved when like Kane could open his mouth and have the mask move. That was done really well. It was better than Big Ben from House. Like I said, he looked like Big Ben, but better. Not as detailed around the midsection, but everywhere else, yes, once they took the mask off. And when he roared, you're like, ah, you really wanted to pee yourself. I would.
You're right. I'd be like, shit, what the hell am I dealing with now?
Make it feel like he needed to go away. Oh, great, he's gross. Get away.
Yeah.
He pees himself as a form of defense.
You got to play smart. You got to play good defense. You must pee to save your life.
Pee. Anyway.
All right, Kevin. What didn't work and what was not so great, what was actually kind of bad about Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood?
So, Lar Park Lincoln was a great final girl. Tina is a dope character. I like her. I love her. I will always enjoy this movie. But I hate telekinetic movies when an actor tries to convey using their powers.
Yep.
It's just like
she looks constipated.
Yes. Right? Like, come on now. Like, you're very focused. You're too high. Oh my God, the room's spinning. What's happening? Like, there's a certain look of focus, and oh God. Can't anyone be like Magneto? Like,
see, I was just thinking that, but I had a feeling you might actually make that correlation because Ian McKellen in the X-Men movies, he's got a little smirk and a little wink and little subtle things that he does to make it all work. And it doesn't take much. Subtlety is an art. Not everybody can do it as an actor.
Yeah. And I know she's being directed to do that. So I can't necessarily put that on Lar. And that's also the time, like, how do you convey that superpower? Stare. You know, because that's what they used to do on TV. They would make people go, oh, a signal that you're using your mind. Okay, touch your head and stare at the person. Don't break your eye contact. Point. You're staring at the person directly now. Okay. Now you're using your mind powers. Okay.
Well, John Carl Buechler did direct some other movies. He had to run down through the list. Troll, this movie, Cellar Dweller, Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College, Curse of the 49er.
Wait, he directed Ghoulies 4?
Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College.
Okay.
So he did part 3.
Okay. I was going to say, wait, 4 was Wynerski. What the hell?
Yeah.
I thought, okay.
But he has also worked on Nightmare on the Elm Street Part 4, Halloween 4, Hatchet, He's mostly been known for special makeup effects.
Okay.
So that's why everything looked like really amazing in this movie too.
Yeah, like that was a treat. This movie is a visual treat as we talk about the bad. But yeah, so that's kind of like fucking Pumpkinhead though, right? Like Pumpkinhead was this stellar looking creature with a first-time director for a horror film necessarily. Like he knows everything about it, but this is like maybe a first run in it. I don't know if this was his first picture directing, but yeah, he certainly knew what he was doing when it came to how to make a monster scary, and even how to make a scary monster movie, just not a good movie per se.
This was his fourth. He did Dungeon Master, Troll, Cellar Dweller, Friday the 13th, this one, then Ghoulies 3. And I see the rest of them, and it's like, no, he did a few more, but nothing on the level of this after, I want to say, probably Ghoulies 3.
Mm-hmm. Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity. The Garbage Pail Kids movies. Oh, that's special effects. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. There's
like, hey, that's not so bad. Not so bad.
Nah, I mean, he did all right, but the script was too far all over the place for him to really be able to wrangle it in. And he probably had Cunningham hanging around him too, being like, if you want to do that, go ahead.
And the Paramount execs.
Yep. And then dealing with the MPAA, being like, no, you got to cut your gore scenes. I'll always consider that bad in general because they're notorious for trying to wrangle in everybody on either nudity, blood.
Oh, they have to appease to the Christian Coalition, dude. They were fucking at the time.
All the time back then. They're killing all of the horror movies with some of that shit.
And
now, a good horror movie could
heading that shit.
Now, a good horror movie could endure it, but it had to be really good because you'd eventually see, like, once we director's cuts and all this extra footage started getting out for everybody to see or get pictures in Fangoria or whatever magazine you were reading at the time, they had sections on horror movies. You'd be like, wait, where's that in the movie? I don't remember that at all. It's because they probably shot it and they couldn't use it. And of course, lost footage through the years. It's kind of too bad. They didn't have the forethought back then to save things like this.
Yeah. Well, golly, like, I don't think special features or deleted scenes put back into a movie were really done like professionally until Ace Ventura. So 94, 93.
Yeah, about mid 90s, that started to become more of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then once DVDs started happening, they started looking more into, oh, maybe we can make some money off of like a unrated cut or extended editions. And then all of a sudden, director's cuts, alternate cuts, assembly cuts are a rage. Alien 3 is another famous one. Director's cut for Aliens is another one. Like around that time, everybody was like, hey, let's make some money. And why not? Let's let people see this other footage because we've already made whatever money we could off the theatrical anyway.
Yeah. And again, Paramount was not proud of these pictures. They didn't like them. So no money was put into them. No effort was put into them. They wanted maximum cash back with minimum effort put into it. And I know that's the American way. Like, that's just the way you make money. But like, they just seriously hated this shit. It was a blight to them that made money, and they didn't know how to get rid of it or what to do with it. And
pretty much.
So the fact that they had to have him fight a superhero or someone with telekinetic powers, they were getting to the point of their rope's end of not knowing what to do with the character anymore. And again, they finally fucking made that jump all the way over the shark in the next chapter where they send him to New York, take him away from Crystal Lake altogether.
Quote unquote New York. Just to get him out of the setting of being at a summer camp and killing idiot campers. That means you're taking him out of basically his identity. Like all these movies back then were trying to think of like, how can we reinvigorate and refresh the franchise? Oh, let's
You
just
don't
take
need
them out
to.
of where they've been for 9 movies and throwing them in a completely different setting and situation.
You look at Friday the 13th 1 and 2. You look at Halloween 1 and 2. Like those movies, they're fantastic pairing. Like they didn't need to outdo the first. They just did as good of a job, if
Correct.
not better in writing than the first.
Although if you
And
ask John Carpenter about Halloween Part 2, he's like, I had a 6-pack and 9 packs of cigarettes, and I
yeah,
wrote it in one night. If he had spent probably more time, like a week or something, to write a script out, it probably would have been a much better movie. But he
I'm
didn't
sure.
care. He didn't want to do it.
No, he tried to refuse and they like kept throwing money at him. Mustafa like insisted and shit.
He's like, okay, I'll just do one and then I'm done. And then they're like, and after the second one, then yeah, they let him be done.
Yeah. Which needed to be. Deborah did part 3, didn't she?
Yeah, she was more involved with Part 3. And John was an executive producer on Part 3, so he did have some involvement, but he wanted nothing to do with actually writing or directing it.
No.
He
fuck
wanted it
no.
to be an anthology franchise. Every Halloween, it was going to be a different story. Doesn't mean he was going to write it. He was going to shepherd it, though.
Fair enough. It just didn't work. You did too good the first time, son.
Bro, I like Halloween 3, so I sit here and I let you make your jabs. When we cover that movie, I'm going to roast your ass.
You're just saying that to
It'd be
get me.
fight time, bitch.
You're just saying that to fucking please Diana.
No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked the movie.
Oh, yes. One of those people. I'm sorry. I know you've said from the get-go, if they didn't call it Halloween, people would have a much different view of the movie.
Just call it Season of the Witch. That's all they had to do.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Friday the 13th, the series. If they would have just called it Curious Goods, like you said, people would have been like, this fucking show rocks.
Or Friday the 13th, Curious Goods.
Yeah.
You could have had the best of both worlds.
And loosely tie into the fucking movie.
Oh God, we'll have a conversation about that on Friday because we're wrapping up season 3 of the TV show, everybody. And man, season 3 is a slog to get through.
Not episode 11. That was fun today.
I'm going to be doing that very shortly.
Yeah, I was like, I was getting ready to tell you, like, I don't think I could make it Friday night, man. There's no way I can get started in time. They're all on YouTube, y'all.
Yeah. Put it at 1.5 speed. You'll get through it a whole lot quicker.
I want to say I don't want to do that, but part of me does.
I want to try just to see what happens for like 2 episodes and be like, you know what? Sure, why not?
I already miss enough playing Magic, so I shouldn't do that.
It's
Not
Johnny, dude.
I know, but you know, Mickey's there too, and so is Jack.
That's true. Well, that brings up the other point about this movie is not all the casting was hit for me. I did not like the actor who played Nick. Way too much of a pretty boy, and I didn't think he had any chemistry with Lar.
No, but I don't know that she had chemistry with anybody.
She had chemistry with Jason. Her and Kane kind of bounced off of each other, I thought, pretty decently.
That works. And really, I want to say, other than Nick, that's who she worked closely. No, she did work well with Kisser, didn't she?
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, she worked well, not with the other kids her age.
Bingo.
And I don't know if that's a her thing, if that's the other kids thing, if they didn't like her because she was already an established actor. I
would say it's a script issue because they had like 2 different ideas on how this movie should go, and getting her to interact with the kids just did not work at all.
Yeah.
You would think, you want her to be normal? Let's actually see her be normal with them and not get like the railroad treatment from Pompous Bitch #1, you know.
Yeah, and have the others like laugh at that. The others were fine. Like if
Yeah.
Melissa or whatever her name wasn't causing shit, then they wouldn't have been shitting on her either. They were laughing at her. Like they would have ignored her, for lack of a better term.
Right, because not all the movies have somebody that's like that, and they treat like one character like a complete, outcast. It's like this is the first time. I wouldn't say it's the first time, but it's like a new trope at this time in horror movies is let's have somebody that is mistreated and is understanding and is totally an outsider, and let's continue to treat them like that the whole movie. Okay. I didn't think that really worked as part of the narrative for this movie, but they did give her the chance to go toe to toe with Jason, mentally speaking.
Mentally speaking, and she did pretty good.
Yep.
It was on par with the fight scene with in part 4. So, and I say that because they use all the extra tools from the basements and stuff.
That was a fun scene too.
Yeah, they were pretty creative. It did not disappoint. The death scene wasn't as good as part 4, but it was still pretty good. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. The death scene was pretty weak. The death scene was weak. Let's get to that. The dad sucked. That was stupid.
Yeah, that whole storyline was just kind of like,
did you not know what to do with him? Or not know how to make her beat him? Because honestly, for me, wanting to root for the feminist star, like having her dad come in and solve the problem, that's not a win for feminism. It's not. And I know it doesn't need to be, but let's have that strong female character be strong and remain independent throughout the rest of the flick. No, she calls her dad
Daddy's little princess.
Moments ago, he was in life anyway. He was beating the snaps out of your mom. Like, come on. Like, sure, he was a drinker, but still, I don't know.
Complete with a polo shirt underneath a sweater.
Yes, which meant he was a douchebag.
Maybe that's why she was attracted to Nick, because it reminded her of her daddy. Daddy issues.
A douchebag.
Yeah, so I have some problems with some of the cast, and the chemistry, but for the most part, the cast is really good. But I did not like the actor who played Nick, and him surviving at the end kind of bothered me. Actually, I thought he should have had a pretty cool saving. I'm gonna save her life sort of death scene.
Yeah, that would have been okay. Or he's killing me.
Some faith, yeah, some goofy ass scene.
He's killing me too.
Holy shit. That was funny with Jason stepping on his back. It's like Jason does not do torture. He would have just stomped on your back, and that would have been the end of it.
That would have been a great kill to have either a back break, like Bane and Batman style, or just stomp a mud hole through him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's done it before in some of the other movies, like stomped on a head, crushed the head, just one little stomp in the middle of the back. Back's broken, bro can't move or go anywhere, and then when the house blows up, he's totally dead.
Yeah, that would have been cool. He couldn't walk. He was paralyzed because he got stomped on his lower back.
Yeah, they would have made him a handicap, and then like one of the other Friday the 13th movies with the wheelchair boy, he did too. Good times, great oldies, baby.
We're not ableists. We just thought it was funny.
We're going to hell, aren't we?
Because it went.
That was so funny. I crack up every time I watch that movie.
Because the machete was bouncing as he was.
That's part 4, right?
2.
Oh.
2. I think.
Part 2. I'm gonna look it up. Friday the
Yeah, because it also had the black guy that
Wheelchair.
survived because he wasn't around for the killing.
Part 2.
Woohoo!
Damn it.
I win the
Maybe
daughter
I
back.
need to rewatch parts 2 through 4 again. Oh, darn.
Those
Yeah,
I like.
when we do these, I want to start watching them all over again.
That's the problem, yes. And with a franchise like this, you have to, when you get to be a certain age, you have to pick which one you want to watch or
This
which
is true.
one of the episodes you want to watch because you don't have time to watch a few of them, a couple of them. You've got time to watch part of one of them. Like
Yeah.
I've got 3 kids, I've got a wife, I've got a fucking dog that's a giant pain in the ass. I don't have time to fucking watch them. Like, I'm glad we watch them for homework because otherwise I wouldn't get around to watching them. So it's like what we do is a
You're
blessing.
telling me.
Yeah. And it gives us a reason to watch them. Like, there's no wrong reason to. It's just when you don't get a chance to watch things you'd really like to. Which again, I only have one of my kids that likes horror. Like, Zoe was so intent on wanting to watch this last night, and I'm like,
Aw.
no, you will shit your pants and never sleep again. This is a Harley movie. I'm sorry, but this is a Harley movie. Like,
Aw.
only she's got the constitution. Like, you and Hunter couldn't survive this shit. You'd be seeing that fucking mask come out of your closet every time you went to bed.
Well, yeah, some of my favorite homework is the only way I'd watch some of this stuff too. Otherwise, I'd be like wrapped up in like 900 other things. So,
yeah, like season 3, would not have watched it. Is it good? Yeah, not necessarily. Certainly not compared to parts or seasons 1 and 2.
Correct.
But I again, the first episode I watched today, I was not expecting to enjoy, and it was an episode that I remembered and still enjoyed today. So I was like, all right, then cool. I dig that.
Works.
Yeah, we'll take it. So I don't know. This is not the worst for me, but it has enough bad where I'm kind of like, again, that 78 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, a little bit more editing to bring it down to maybe like 82 minutes, but keep the original kill and gore stuff in it. I think that might have actually helped the movie if they did that.
Track down like a second or 3 seconds off of each stalking scene. I think it would have been okay.
Or the driving scene, which was completely unnecessary.
Yes. Yeah. Or the GoPro scenes where people are running. And it looks like Jason's running from behind them, but he's only walking. And then running, walking, running, walking. That happened a lot. Didn't need to keep happening.
Agreed.
Wasn't
and then the same transporting across like a mile or two was like, what is going on here?
Yeah. The doctor transporting all of a sudden showing up on set was pretty good too. Like, oh, yeah, you. How fortunate I found you.
Very fortunate indeed. But you're my cash cow, woman. Back to the house.
Come back where I can keep you and me safe. Or excuse me, come back to the house where you can keep me safe.
Exactly.
Because he was a narcissist. Like, everything was about him. Like, thank God I found you. You can keep me safe. Don't leave. Who's going to protect me? If anything happens to you, I'm going to die because no one can protect me.
Too bad we didn't get an ironic death scene with him.
No, we didn't, did we?
No, we just got the motorized bush trimmer.
Yeah. Which wasn't as cool as it could have been. There could have been like fingers getting lopped off, arms, feet, head.
Half the face. Yep. Just saying.
Yeah, that saw blade could have done a whole bunch of neat shit.
Yep. But it's Zombie Jason. He knew enough how to start it, not how to use it.
I don't know how to tilt the head.
You got to loosen up the wing nut and then rebalance it, then tighten it back up. Boom. There you go.
Yep. It looks harder than it is.
And that's what she said.
Giga Tate.
All right, Kevin. Maybe it's time we judge this.
Okay, so like I said before, I considered this to be mid-range for the mask era of Jason, or the bottom of the upper range, if you will. This is listed as a 5.2 for Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Part 1 is listed as 6.4. Part 2 is listed as 6.1. 3 gets listed as 5.6, and they go down as part 4 goes to 6, part 5 is 4.8, part 6 is 6.0, and this got a 5.2. And then we drop down to 4.5 and 4.1. So, I mean, like, everyone else kind of agrees. This is bottom tier, but it's not bad. Again, it's over the 5 points for star ratings. I'd give it at least a 6. This is at least a 6 for me, 6.3. 5.2 still, I'd say, not generous enough for the type of kills that we had in this movie, the good-looking Jason that we had, the good-looking prosthetics that we had, and the amount of boobies that we had, which was still prominent. So, and blood. The blood was back in this picture. So even without a good story, without good character chemistry, like, this movie still manages to entertain me. And I'm not being like a lazy fan. Like, I get upset when I see a bad Jason movie. If I'm not seeing good Jason kills, I'm bored. I'm not having it. And I started feeling that with Freddy versus Jason. I didn't feel that here. And this is not as good of a picture. Golly, that's embarrassing to say. Not as good of a picture.
That is weird to say, isn't it?
Yeah. Because watching Freddy versus Jason back again, I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, and that's all it was, is it was okay. Different universe, it was okay.
Yeah, for me, I'm probably going to do the rare thing and pretty much agree with you. I'd give this about a 6 as well. There is enough to actually like about this movie. Yes, there's some flaws, there's some drawbacks, casting and some chemistry issues aside. It's a fun movie. I can't lie. Like, I enjoy watching this one. There's things I roll my eyes at. There's things I'm like, all right, we're dragging ass here a little bit. Some definite pacing issues. However, there's more than enough that makes up for it. And Harry Manfredini and Fred Mullen did the score and soundtrack on this. I think they did a fantastic job. Sounds pretty, looks pretty. It's a decent movie. I just wouldn't rank it very high on my list of Jason movies. For ranking, it's going to be kind of middle of the road on the Paramount era. And that's still better than part 5. And that'll always be kind of like bottom barrel for me.
Yeah.
That's not really a Jason movie, but at the same time, I can't hate this movie. I just, like you said, you might get a little bored by it at particular moments, but it picks right up. It could have used a better editing job and maybe a little bit more focus on the story department. And I'm not saying like overly complicate the thing. I'm actually talking about uncomplicating it more. We did not need the psychiatrist part. We did not need Tina being a shrink. They could have focused more on just normal human beings dealing with Jason. Because Tommy Jarvis wasn't exactly supernaturally inclined, and he did a pretty good job on his own in part 6. So,
yeah, like, he knew about monsters as a kid, and he met a real one.
Yep.
And then he fought a man that tried to be a monster, and then he got to refight that monster again. So it's like, Tommy has experience in the evil of men as well as the evil of nature, and that was really, really hard to top. They've not really ever topped that again, ever.
No, and they haven't even like, you can argue like the remake tried to do that, but it didn't quite stick the landing on that. And I actually really like the remake. So
Yeah, the remake was just fine. I didn't have a problem with the remake. Like, if you want to compare the remake to Friday the 13th remake, I'm sorry, if
to Elm
you want,
Streets.
yeah, like, then just fucking walk out the door. Just walk out the door. Because
Yep.
one of those two movies is entertaining and the other is not. One of them feels like it's got the plot of one of its old movies. Like, there's a killer at this lake. Doesn't need the campers. It had a couple, I think, but it's like it kind of had the newer plot of just douchebags going to the lake for the house and whatever the fuck else. But it had Jason at the lake and they were invading his property. And that was their sin.
And
it
Derek
worked.
was a great Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, he really was. He had that physicality. He had that rage that Kane had. He had that anger and the swings and determination to kill and intent. And it was good, really good. Whereas you get to Freddy vs. Jason, he's much lazier, slower,
Well, and that's Ken. Yeah.
happens to kill. Okay, I get you now.
Yeah. Well, and Kane likes Derek just fine because Derek appeared in one of his Hatchet movies.
Mhm.
And that was a nice little touch. So I got no problem with that. Yeah. So as far as Judgment goes, it's a worthy movie of the Friday the 13th name. Hey, at least we got our boobs back. We got our blood back. We got all the elements that make a good to decent Friday the 13th movie. Can't ask for much more than that. Kevin, you got-
Boobs. Oh. To boobs.
Just gonna say, you have any other thoughts? Boobs.
Boobs. Way ahead of you, son. Boobs.
We're gonna have to make a clip for that now. Boobs.
No, other than, this is the last of the fun movies for me. I really like 6 and 7. I will watch 6 and 7 back to back, or 4, 6, and 7. I try to throw 8 in there, but once I get to the end of this one, I'm kind of like, I'm done. I'll try to watch 8 later.
8? I have a love-hate relationship with that movie. There's times I hate that goddamn movie, and there's other times I'm like, this is actually a lot of fun. And it's never I can never tell when I'm gonna like it or hate it. But I love the boxing scene because they do get one punch and he loses his freaking head. I know
Yeah,
it's
that
super
was cool.
comical, but I absolutely love it. It's like if you got punched in the head by Jason at full force, you probably would lose your freaking head.
Fuck yeah, dude. That was cool. Like, come on, Balrog. Come get
And
this
boy,
shit.
do I have an opinion about how that movie ends. Basically, when she gets injected with the heroin at the end, I think that's when the movie ends, and the rest of the movie is all in her head and a fantasy. And Jason gets nabbed by the feds in the meantime, and they're trying to haul him back to Crystal Lake or imprison him. And I think that's where I would have the next movie start off. That's always been like my headcanon, and I actually wrote like a fanfic script doing it that way for a part 9. And he busts out of the security van and he's trying to find his way to Crystal Lake. And then it's a big tracking session all the way back to Crystal Lake.
With the FBI close at hand.
FBI, military, they all track him down. And in part 9, that would be the big blowout between military and him. And he kills like some deer hunters along the way because there's camping also in those woods.
Yes.
And him getting home, he could die back at home then.
That's true. That's true. Or at least go back to his pot field.
Yep. That would work too.
Pass the machete on the left-hand side.
And Kami on the left and right side. All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in to 0-Point Reviews of Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Yes, that is a mouthful, but the next movie is even more of a mouthful. But we're not going to be doing any more Friday the 13th until the next Friday the 13th month. And that's it for this year. So as of next year, we will do another blowout with the missing Friday movies that we haven't covered. And we will do our ranking episode after that. So stay tuned with us. We got some more horror and science fiction coming up. Next week is Predator 1. After that is Predator 2. Then we're going to do Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And then Lake Placid and Alligator. So July is going to be a little bit of a wild month, but we're going to have some fun with that. Some horror comedy, some sci-fi horror. It's going to be a good time, everybody. So make sure you stay tuned. Hit that like button down below. Did you subscribe? If not, please do give us a solid. Hit the subscribe button on the way out and notify so you get stay tuned to all when our videos post or our live streams hit. YouTube likes to screw around with that. So if you are already subscribed, unnotify, re-notify one more time. It should trip it back to where you get told when we go live. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see you all on the next one.
Friday, May 13th. It's Jason versus Tina.
Don't go in there!
The match made in hell.
There goes the neighborhood.
Friday the 13th, Part 7. The New Blood. Rated R.